My name is Ken Carfagno. I am the founder and facilitator of the Smart Cleaning Tribe. Smart being a double meaning, smart being smart, and also like smart cleaners, and also SMART, the acronym. We will dive into what that acronym means and everything about goal setting. I have a lot of different topics and some tools to share with you. My goal here, my desire for you here is for you to take this training and to re-plumb your thinking about everything you're doing about your cleaning business. What? But we're automating everything. I think most of you are probably working on automating everything, but the one thing you're not automating could be the one thing that holds you back. Okay. And I'm talking about having a goal structure and accountability program in place, because if you don't have that, you're either going to only implement partially or not at all, get frustrated from the things you're learning, overwhelmed, and not applying them. I mean, I can't see you, but raise your hand if you've ever gathered information, taken tons of notes, got super excited, started to do it, and then you got overwhelmed because you had other information or something else added on or some other shiny object, and you just fell off of the implementation phase of putting this together. If you did this one thing for 3 months straight, maybe it'll change your life, but somehow you fall off. And a lot of times it's wrapped up and disguised in other information. Most of us are information junkies. Still raise your hand, right? Is this you? You go on Facebook groups, you gather information. Oh, I like that. You get more, you get more, you get more. You're collecting like a bookshelf. And if you look at any of I have a bookshelf back here, I have here, and they get dusty, right? And your information is getting dusty in the bookshelf of your brain. So if you connect with that, then I think you're going to really enjoy this training, because I wanted to take a break out of Courtney's first couple expert calls that she did, and they're very focused on training and automating and getting your business, your cleaning business aligned. Great information. Let's do a pause and let's add in a very important piece to this puzzle. And it could be in what Seth Godin calls in his book, linchpin. This could be the linchpin to have an implementation process along with an information process. All right. And I will get into more of what I'm doing with cleaning company owners towards the end of this. But let me start off with a brief intro and why I do this, or why I'm qualified to be your expert. All right. My background is mechanical engineer. Yup, that's me. So I used to work on big machines with General Electric back in the early 2000s. I loved this career. I loved designing things and doing the math, the calculus, and figuring out, like, I remember I used to take a part that would go into this giant turbine that goes into a power plant that makes electricity. I would take one blade out of maybe 200 blades in this whole machine, and I would make a 3D model on my computer, and then I could map it with all these colors, and we could figure out where the stress points are and where it's liable possibly to crack, so we can design that area stronger or change the material. Or like there's something called clearances between the top of the blade where the blade's spinning and the shell of the case. And those clearances, they were designed with really small windows. And we're talking in the fractions, in the micro inches, fractions of a small number. And what I thought was profound is that you're thinking, well, there's a little space in that machine, whatever. You can lose millions of dollars in efficiency and performance based on a little space. And so you want that little space to be even littler. But if it's too little and the blade grows and hits the shell, cause friction, and you could blow up the engine. So that's not good. So I learned that these little small numbers can make a big difference. And I was trained as a green belt with Six Sigma at GE. Six Sigma, you could look at it as almost a SMART goal for the engineers. I mean, it's a way to track specific and measuring and having a system around identifying where there's a problem, what's called a defect. And I was trained as a green belt for the first couple of years of GE. So I am very familiar with tracking systems and all things engineering from my 6 years as an engineer. So why am I talking to you about cleaning? Because I also, maybe some of you recognize me, my face from Facebook, my voice. I've done a lot of video work. I run a podcast, the Solo Cleaning School. Maybe you've heard that. But I did leave engineering. I fell out of love with that line of work only at the 2 year mark. I'm stuttering. And I wanted out of there. And so the career that my wife and I stumbled into, and I won't go into how this happened, was a cleaning business. Started cleaning houses, offices for realtors, apartment complexes, whatever. We needed money badly. The situation we ended up putting ourselves in. And the first couple of years figuring cleaning out, I didn't have my systems. I was just trying to make money. Then I hired people. I did it all wrong. I did nothing that you're learning with Courtney. No automation. Looking at, I know she's got 5 points, right? The human resources, the administrative, the finances, the operations, the marketing, right? There's the 5. There's the big 5 areas that she really promotes as her key piece to helping you with your business. If you get each of those 5 areas, I had none of those areas, and I sucked at hiring. I sucked at scaling, and my business was failing. So I sucked at scaling, and my business was failing. Does anyone else relate with that one? So I was coached to go back to working solo, and I ended up spending a decade working solo. And I used my engineering to create a solo business that no one has ever created before, to the point where I started kind of getting the attention of some of the coaches out there in our cleaning industry spaces. And, I didn't think much of it when I was doing it. I never had any coaches in cleaning specifically. I never had the Facebook groups as I was growing this. I felt always like I was on an island, but I had my numbers. I had my SMART goals system. Every 90 days, I had a new plan. I want to help you figure out how to do that here today. And in my series of 90-day plans from 2015 to 2018, in just 3 years, I took a solo cleaning business where I was working 5 and 6 days a week and keeping about 60,000 profit. And it was solo. So it's not like there's an owner's comp. It's just that's what I pulled out of my business, 60% or 60,000 or 5,000 a month. And by the end of my 3-year process, I was working 2 days a week in my solo cleaning business. No subcontractors, no employees, just moi cleaning 4 houses a day, whatever it was, an office here and there. And I had extremely high dollar per hour on each job. And I was making $55,000 profit on 2 days a week. So it's like those small little spaces in that engineering example. I had big spaces, lots of inefficiency. I identified them using a series of SMART goals, and I shrunk it down to the minimum that I could. And I had my business humming. I mean, it felt good to have 5 days at home with my family. And I'm married 17 years with 5 kids. I want to be home. We homeschool our kids. We want to travel. We want to do things together. I didn't want to be cleaning forever. And I also opted not to scale at this point in time. And I knew that for this season, I was going to optimize a solo cleaning business. So that's how you may or may not have seen me or met me in the cleaning world. But that's my experience. And because of all of this, I've developed and sold a course for solo cleaners. I've run groups for solo cleaners. I also have run a group for a real estate cleaning group, which turned into a cleaning tribe around building SMART goals and keeping them accountable. And I will come back to that for sure. But now I'm ready to dive in. So we're about 10 minutes in. I wanted to give you now some tangible things that you could, write down and start going after these things. These are this is more information. I know this, I'm giving you more information, but this is information that has implementation with it. They're peanut butter and jelly. They go together, something like that. Okay. So grab your notebook, however you're taking notes. I want to hit some key points. I've got some tools. I think you'll have a good time with this. And I'm modeling this talk after a 1 hour plus expert live call that I did for Courtney's last Rescue My Maid service retreat that she held in St. Louis. So she brought me on through a Zoom call, and I did this talk live, interacting with the 8 women that were there, the 8 cleaning owners that were there. And I will definitely emphasize the couple things that really connected with them. So here we go. Let's start out. The most important thing to you implementing your information or implementing your goals is you've got to have a pilot light. What can, the gas ovens that you clean, right? On the top of those ovens, if they're gas, you turn them on and somehow the flame just comes up. Well, down in there, there's a little flame called a pilot light that is always lit. It never goes out. That's your pilot light. We all have a pilot light inside of our souls, and we need to have that pilot light fanned. There is a difference between motivation and inspiration. Motivation, you've got that small pilot light, and other people are saying things to you, encouraging you, giving you ideas, and it's motivating you. It's kind of fanning that pilot light and making the fire and the flame grow. When you have inspiration, it comes from within. And so from within your own soul, you grow that pilot light and turn on your own fire. You don't need anyone to encourage you or to give you the information or to say you can do it. That always helps, but you don't need that if you have inspiration. So we have to have that pilot light lit, and never let anyone steal your dream. Never let that pilot light go out. So that may sound abstract. I'm going to take this abstract concept and we're going to break it down and let this drive us through the formation of a SMART goal. So let's start with, what is your why? There's a game I played and a tool that I use. It's called the 5 Whys. And I'm going to give you the example of the one we used. And so I won't tell you the young lady's name. And I'm not going to go into the details of her specific why, but I will share how it kind of went. We'll call her Jennifer. So Jennifer, why are you at this retreat with Courtney? And her answer was something like, to get my systems in place in my business. Awesome. I asked her the question, why are you here at this retreat? I said, awesome. Why do you want to have systems in place? To be able to automate my business. And for her, she wanted to be able to go back to her home country for 4 months out of the year. So I could automate my business and maybe get back to my home country for 4 months out of the year. Cool. Why do you want to automate your business, go back to your home country for 4 months out of the year? She's like, starting to sweat a little bit, peeling an onion back layer by layer. And she said this, she says, well, really, what I really want is to have my business fully run so I can go back to my home country and start a family. Wow. Okay. I said, awesome. This is so cool. Why? She's like, no, stop asking me why. And she says, well, and the other ladies in this room, they knew her situation. So it was great. Courtney, you've done an amazing job creating a atmosphere where the women are willing to really get vulnerable and share with each other. And she said, my first marriage didn't work out. And I want to be able to start again and be a mom. And I want to do that in my home country. I want to travel. I'm like, now we're getting to it. I'm on 4 Whys. I said, oh, Jennifer, that's awesome. But why do you want to start a family and to travel? And this is where she really, I could see she's getting a little teary, a little emotional. I've always wanted to be a mom and raise a family and travel. And so she had some heartbreak with the divorce. And she sees this business as a way to give her time, possibly location, and money freedom. So why does she show up at that retreat? The first level was because she wanted systems. But down at the very deepest, once I've peeled the onion layers back, she wants to start a family. She doesn't want to miss that time slot that she's got. There's a window, and she wants to start a family. And I think it's amazing. And now she thought about that, and it was like her face lit up. She now felt and saw that why, that spark, that inner pilot light. And once she got that, it was the inspiration. I told her, I said, Jennifer, that dream right there, that is your why. And if you keep that within you, that'll be the fuel that'll always drive your car. That'll be the fuel that will keep your pilot light lit. No one can ever take that away from you. Nothing can ever happen. You can mess up with systems 10 times in a row. You can mess up with implementing 10 times in a row, but nothing will ever change that that's your dream. And so no matter how many times you fall, you'll get back up. So is this making sense? Once you get that why, nothing is more important. It is the most important thing, because we're all running these cleaning companies. And by the way, I sold my cleaning company, my solo business. I was in upstate New York, and we are now in the Philadelphia area. And I've started a new cleaning business. So I'm again a solo cleaner, and I'm considering scaling this time around. So I don't know. I'm running a podcast. I'm helping solo cleaners. I'm helping ladies and gentlemen like yourself with cleaning companies to grow theirs, but not with my information. I'm not teaching you how to scale a company. I'm teaching how to implement the great information you already have. So you got this first concept of the why and the 5 whys. That tool, do that tool, the 5 whys. Do it to yourself. Maybe have a trusted friend or coach do that for you. If you want to reach out to me, I will do this with you to help you. But once you uncover that deepest protected dream that you've got, take all those layers off, look at it, get emotional, allow it to sink into your consciousness, and think about it all the time. Think about it all the time. If you want, like for this Jennifer, she wants to be a mom, she should get around other moms and their kids and build that dream more. Build that dream because you know she's building something that's going to allow her to accomplish the dream. So we need that why to be super strong. Okay, now let's talk about the intangible, which we just did, the intangible, the why, to the tangible. How do we break that down into goals, or what are goals? Let's talk about why set goals. There's a Harvard business study released, and I don't have the date on this offhand. It's on a blog I've posted. But here's the numbers from that study. 83% of people do not set goals. 83% of people do not set goals. The other 17% do, right? Of the 17%, 14% of them, right? So most do not set goals. Here's the ones that do. The majority of the ones that do, 14% of the 17%, do set goals, but they don't write them down. They set goals, but don't write them down. Check this out. The ones that do set goals are, so the 14%, the ones that set goals, but don't write them down, they're 10 times more successful than the people that don't set goals at all. This is a Harvard business study. I think it's really cool. 10 times differential in success in the measurement of success of the study used. How about the 3% that write them down? Those 3% set the goal, so they put themselves into the 14, and then they put themselves in the 3 by setting a goal and writing it down. They're 30 times more successful than the non-goal setters, and 3 times more successful than the no writing down goal setters. But wait, there's more. Let's go next level down. In a separate study, excuse me, in a separate study, of the ones that wrote them down, 40% never go back and look at them again. Okay, great. What does that mean? They're not accomplishing them, probably. So the ones that are writing them down but not looking at them, their success rate is probably still at that 10 times, because they're essentially the same as someone that's not writing them down. They are writing them down, but they're not looking at them. Then there's the 60% that do write them down and that look at them from time to time. And there's all different levels inside there. And this is how you can start setting yourself apart in upper echelons of goal setting. So just going by the 60% of 3%, that's 1.8. So of 100 people, 83 don't do goals. 14 don't write them, have goals, don't write them down. And then 1.8% write goals down, have goals, write them down, and have checkpoints on them. And even a smaller percentage have accountability around these goals. Cool. You got that concept of why goals are important? You see the connection, something tangible there? Why would you have a goal? Because if you want to hit these goals, if you want your why to become true, if you want to give yourself a 10 times chance of having it happen, a 30 times chance, a 50 times chance, or 100 times chance, I'm going to show you how to have a 100 times chance, how to build a SMART goal framework with accountability that will help you month to month to month progress towards your goals. And that's how this works, progression. Okay. Let me take a drink before I dive into the next topic. Popular book, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Anyone ever heard of it? Oh, I see some hands out there. No, I don't. In this book, he talks about our thoughts. Think and grow rich. He says our thoughts precede our actions. Our thoughts precede our actions. Our thoughts come before our actions. Has anyone ever been in a reactionary firefighting mode? Raise your hand. Where there's the problems of the day. Oh, sorry. All the things that are happening, going wrong in the day. Those come at you. Okay? Our thoughts precede our actions. Those bombard our brain, and outside influences are giving us our thoughts. And we take action upon those dominant thoughts given to us by other people. Other people's OPP, other people's problems, right? We're getting them. And we put ourselves there. Lack of preparation. We put ourselves into a reactionary state where our dominant thoughts are created from other outside influences. That creates a reactionary mode, and that's someone that is not moving ahead at a very quick speed. What's the alternative to that? It's you probably already said it. You probably said it out loud as you listen to me talk. It's being proactive. How do you change that? Give yourself your own dominant thoughts. Remember that? Why? Give yourself a dominant thought of your why. Have goals. Have a system in place so that you are working on the important. There's a book out there, The Essentialism. Be an essentialist. Walk down the path where you have one thing that you're after, and that's your dominant thought. Your actions will come off of the dominant thoughts you have. This will produce proactivity in your business. Those firefighting situations, you will. I remember sharing this with a lady I used to I coach, and I called her. She was in firefighter mode all the time. I said, "Let's get you from firefighter mode to fire inspector mode. Know when the fire is about to happen, and you can fix it beforehand before it becomes urgent. Work on the important. Don't be in a position where you're always doing the urgent. You're not getting ahead. Work on the important. Sure, a few things of urgency are going to come through, and you can handle them in a SMART system. Cool. So that's Think and Grow Rich. I now want to dive into the SMART. Here we go. Let's now dive into the SMART framework. So I've shared why goals are important, and I've also told you about your why, and we also have talked about our thoughts. So let's now talk about the SMART goal. SMART. It's an acronym. The S stands for specific, and the R is relevant. I'm sorry. S is for specific, M for measurable, A for attainable, R for relevant, and T for time bound. I'm going to pull up a free course that I have on the SMART goal. I'm going to encourage you guys to check this out. So I'm just going to pull this up. I should have had this up before I started recording. Sorry, Courtney. All right, I'll have me filler space. Here you go. Let me share my screen for you. Okay. You should be able to see the SMART Goal course for cleaners. All right. And since I'm going to recommend that you can come right to the site. I don't mind you coming directly here. Normally I have a opt-in with an email address. I'm not going to make you give me your email address, but definitely go check out my resources page, my website, and you can opt in for anything there. I have other free stuff, and you put on my newsletter and hear about SMART goals and the people that are in the tribe, the Smart Cleaning Tribe, and hear the wins that they've had. But let's look at this. I want to show you the SMART goal framework, and here it is, the SMART goal framework. The first part of it, the S is specific. Make the goal answer who it includes, where it will occur, what you want to accomplish, and which constraints could affect it. Specific. You've got to have it very, very well defined. This is the definition of the goal. Specific. So the who, where, what, and which constraints could affect it. So there are so many times we have looked at goal setting about needing new clients. Say, well, I want 5 new clients. That is actually not a specific goal. It sounds like it is. We just don't know which constraints could affect that. Really, the way that you want to set up a specific goal is not around the result of 5 new customers. You want to set it up on the activity it takes to get the 5 new customers. Maybe it takes, I need to generate 25 leads through A, B, C, and D. Now go focus on getting those 25 leads. And if your sales process is working properly, you'll get 5 new clients. So that's specific. Measurable. Make the goal simple to track and quantify. What gets measured gets managed. Either use a numeric, like 10 leads for the month of December, 20 leads for the month of January, or to fully implement QuickBooks online by the end of February. And if you say fully implement, that is a yes or no. Did you fully implement it? Or another one, to be 100% out of the field, maybe that's a 1-year goal. Well, you could maybe figure out, well, I want to be 10% out of the field each month for the next 10 months. If you're at 0% out of the field and you could go 10% each month for 10 months with some buffer, 1 year you can go from 0% out of the field to 100% out of the field. How do you calculate that? That's part of the specific and the measurable. It's simple math. How many hours were you cleaning in the field? How many hours total were cleaned in the field? And what percentage of that was you? Was there 100 hours cleaned in the field by others? And you were in there 10? Well, 10 divided by actually 110, that's around 11%. So you'd be 11% into the field, right? I think that number is right. 10. Actually, you're almost out of the field in that case. You'd be 80, 89. I did math backwards. But that's how you can calculate that. So specific and measurable give you that way to track the goal. Okay. Attainable. Make your first goal realistic to start. The momentum cycle. Subsequent goals could get more aggressive as confidence grows. So attainables is very important, because if you set a goal that's too big, that's not reachable, it's not realistic, it's not attainable, you're going to fail, and you're going to feel like this is not for you. And you're going to look for something else, and you're going to continue a failing process. Failing is part of this. Failing is part of winning. Failing is part of success. So when I say failing, I said that wrong. I don't want you to stop failing, but I want you to fail in smaller steps. Get back up, try again. Get back up, try again. But always pursuing attainable goals. Because if you're in the habit of setting really lofty goals, like if you're at 100,000 and you say, I'm going to get to 7 figures in my cleaning business by next month, it's not going to happen. It's like there's a 0.1% chance that's going to happen. So why put the stress on yourself? What if you only get to 800,000 in 1 month? You didn't hit your goal, and that's crazy. I mean, first of all, that's just craziness. I don't think you're going to get to 800,000, but the chances are you're not going to continue along that path toward that goal because you set it too big. Make that $1 million goal. Maybe that's a 1 year or an 18-month goal or a 2-year goal. It's okay. Okay. It's okay to take the time to do it right and break it down into smaller steps. So attainable. It's important to get small wins. Dave Ramsey has a very successful financial peace program. He teaches you baby steps. And in one of those steps, you're essentially getting out of debt. You take your smallest debt and you pay it off. You take the money that you're using on the smallest debt, you put it towards your next biggest debt. And then your next one. Over time, you pay off all your debt, but you're growing in small wins. You're building momentum. That's what you want to do here with SMART goals. Your first few months of doing this, you've never done it before, set smaller, attainable goals that you can absolutely accomplish. R for the SMART is relevant. Your goal must matter to you, to your why. We talked about the why. If the goal accomplishes stuff for you, but doesn't get you closer to your dream, it's not SMART. So an example of, right, Jennifer, you know what her why is, to, be a mom and to move back to her home country, automate her business. That's relevant. All things that get her there. If suddenly she says that, if she sets a SMART goal, something around, health is always a good thing, but maybe she sets a goal about starting a second business and going on some kind of cruise. Like, I don't know how that connects with her systemizing her business. Like, she's starting a new business, but what about the systemizing the first one? Like, if you have a why, the R is the letter in SMART that connects your goal. It's the bridge between the tangible and the intangible why to the tangible SMART goal that's trackable and measurable, right? That's the R. And then time bound for T. Give yourself a goal with a deadline, or it never gets accomplished. Deadlines create tension, and tension creates action. I love that statement. Deadlines create tension, and tensions create action. If you don't force yourself or give yourself some tension to get this goal done, it's not going to get done. Parkinson's law states that you will fill time and money and space with however much you give yourself to accomplish it. I want to add those 10 new clients, and that's going to be 40 leads, let's say, and you don't give yourself a deadline. You probably will get those 40 leads and get those 10 clients, but you might not get it until 3, 4, 5 months from now. There's no sense of urgency around this goal. It's not SMART. But if you say, I want this by the end of this month, now you're giving yourself a deadline that you have to hold yourself accountable to. And when you get yourself an accountability partner that you like, respect, want to impress, now you're even doubly on the hook to get it done. How cool is that? Now you can actually hit that goal. You force yourself to get it done. And that's when the goal becomes SMART. I'm going to leave this share now and just talk to you again. I want to break down the SMART in a little different way now. It's not a complex process, okay? The SMART goal. Although it's written as SMART in that order, they were trying to find something that made sense. I actually think it's not in the right order. It should go RASMT. So RASMT is the order it should go in. I believe R is the most important step of the entire SMART goal. Why? Because the why is the most important. And so if the R is the thing that connects the goal to the why, the R is the most important. So when you're setting a SMART goal, make sure that it is relevant toward the goal that you've spent time to nurture and to peel the onion back. And now you've got this. Make sure that your SMART goal, well, if it's not, it won't be SMART. Like it'll be SMAT. It'll be SMAT. Without the R, it's SMAT. So don't have a SMAT goal, have a SMART goal. So make sure it connects. It definitely puts you on the path to achieving your why. The next most important letter is attainable, the A. Why? Because that momentum cycle. You have to create a habit of winning, a habit of making progress. Month 1, you hit a goal in 3 different areas of your business. Month 2, you hit a goal, slightly bigger than there was in month 1. Month 3, you hit a goal. Month 4, 5, you're now in a habit of winning. By month 12, you've changed the world. Benjamin Franklin, in his autobiography, I remember reading this. I loved what he did. He came up with a list of 13 virtues he wanted to get into his life habitually. I don't have the list in front of me, but here's what he chose to do. He chose to spend an entire month on one virtue, thinking about that virtue, figuring out ways he could get that virtue into his life. If it's giving, then how do I give? Creating habits around that one virtue. And by the end of a month, he now had a new virtue that was on autopilot. His subconscious was just now doing it on its own. Then he moved to another virtue. And by the end of 13 months, or better, just over a year, he had changed his whole life, and that allowed him to accomplish so much in his career. I mean, it's amazing what Ben Franklin's done. You look at his list of accomplishments; it's incredible. Okay. So again, back to the A, attainable. Another example I'm going to give you from a book. The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson is a great book. There is this myth out there, okay, that you can just coast and stay the same. Well, I'll just stay where I'm comfortable now. I don't need to grow for a while. I'm just going to stay the same. And when I'm ready to grow, I'll pick back up when I feel like it. I'll just kind of coast. I'm okay for 4 or 6 months. That's not true. In life, things don't work that way. The myth is that you can just stay the same and you'll be okay. The myth is that's a myth. Bust that myth. It doesn't exist in nature and doesn't exist in business. You look at a blade of grass, it's never just the same. It's always growing or it's dying. You look at a plant, look at a tree, it's either growing or it's dying. Humans are either growing or they're dying. I hate to say it, but the human body grows until about 18, 19, and the brain grows until about 25. And physiologically, the body and the brain is growing. And then the decay process until you're eventually dead in your 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever it is, then you can work on your mind, you can work out, but you're essentially in a, is it anabolic process where you're breaking down over the course of decay. Everything has a half-life. Everything dies off over time. Your business, if you do nothing, will just slowly decay. And after a month, you might not notice it. But after 6 months, you look back and say, oh my gosh, what have I done? I've destroyed it. So I wanted to share that in the Slight Edge, if you make small decisions that are keeping your business the same, or you're not taking action around goals, over time, you're kind of staying the same and starting to decay downward. And it's not until you get far off. The Slight Edge is over time, you start to see the big difference. But in the beginning, you can't see it. You can take Slight Edge in the positive direction with a goal system like this, with accountability, where in the beginning, you won't see how much you've grown. But 6 months on the road, a year, 2 years, and you've taken off. The Slight Edge, Jeff Olson says, make the Slight Edge work in your favor, not against you. And the key to having a SMART goal using the Slight Edge in your favor is to make it attainable. Make it so you can have these slight goals in the beginning that you can win on and build on them gradually. Okay, I'm not going to say go just go, kill it in your first month. Okay. The next part of the SMART goal, S and the M. I just bunched these together. This is SMA, specific and measurable. This is the kind of stuff I worked on at GE in my Six Sigma training. The specific and measurable. These are the parts that make your goal easily tracked. This essentially gives your goal a number, an on-off, a yes or no. Did you do it? Did you not? Was it 5 or was it 3? Was it 10 or was it 5? Like, it's a way to track it and measure it. Now someone else can say, well, did you accomplish your goal? Well, I said I was going to grow by 9. I grew by 9 and I'm about to hit 10. Awesome. You did it. It's easy to see that you've done it. When is it not specific and measurable? When is your goal maybe just an art goal without the SMART, without the SMA? I want to grow my business by the end of this month. Well, that's attainable to grow it. It's relevant and it's time bound, right? But it's not SMA. So it's just an art goal, right? You don't want a SMAT goal. You don't want a SMRT goal. And in this case, you don't want an art goal, because without the specific and measurable. Okay, so you want to grow this month? Great. So did you grow? Yeah, I did. Well, define that. Well, I talked to one person in my business this month. I grew. Great. Maybe that's not so relevant, is it? It was very attainable for sure, but not very relevant. What if your goal had the specific and the measurable in it, and it was get 10 leads? Did you get your 10 leads? No. Okay. Are you going to get 10 leads this coming month? Yes. So the last one is the time bound for the T. This ties it all together, and it makes it possible for your accountability partner to hold you accountable. Accountability partner should be able to help you determine what's relevant in your goal to make your goal relevant, make sure it's attainable. They can be like a coach and a helper there, but they also need to know that it's specific and measurable, and they need to know when it's due by. They can check on you. So, hey, Jennifer, did you get that goal done? You're supposed to have it done by the 15th of February. Yes, I got it done. Awesome. Great job. Okay, so that's the SMART goal. Let's now move into an area of accountability. So what is accountability? This seems to be a very abstract topic, and not many people have accountability partners in life. I have one for my marriage, for my spiritual development. I have one for my business. I have accountability partners. Who do you pick? Well, you want somebody that is progressing, that is moving ahead with their life, that is also setting SMART goals and has someone that they're accountable to. You want someone that stretches you, that you respect, that you look up to. They could be a coach, a mentor. They could be someone growing a cleaning business alongside of you with the same maybe business, maybe slightly smaller, but you really respect the way they're doing it, maybe slightly bigger. But you want someone and you want to be able to build a good friendship with this person. The point is, you want to be able to have this person be someone that you want to perform for. Something in our human behavior and it's a hard thing to really understand, but it's true, is that we will perform in many cases harder for somebody else than we will for ourselves. So if we set a goal to make 10 calls every day, if that was our goal, 10 phone calls or 10 emails or 10 messages on Facebook, whatever, as part of some kind of marketing goal maybe. And if we're holding ourselves accountable at the end of the day, let's say we hit 8 phone calls or 8, we're like, oh, cool, I got 8. Awesome. You kind of let yourself off the hook because you know you did something. But when you tell someone else that you respect and you want their approval and you want them to know that you're doing great, you don't want to say, well, so how'd you do, Jennifer? How'd you do, Mary? How'd you do, Ken? Well, I got 8, but in your goal 10? Yeah. So how are you going to get 10 tomorrow? The next time you go, so how'd you do today? I got 9. Great job. But isn't your goal 10? Yeah. Are you going to get 10 tomorrow? I will. I'll get 10. So how'd you do today? I got 10. Awesome. Next day, how'd you do? I got 12. Great job. Let's up your goal to 12 for tomorrow. A good accountability partner will challenge you as well. How often do you stay in contact with an accountability partner? I recommend minimum once a week, but every day is when you're really serious. I remember I was in accountability, my buddy Vincent, oh man, for about 2, 3 months, he had me emailing him every night. And it was somewhere, the goal was around kind of an emailing kind of thing, number of emails and updates I was doing toward my goal. And I wrote this update every night before I went to bed. I would send it. And I remember, because he's someone that I look up to, I respect him. He's earned financial time and location independence with his family. They can travel the country, do what they want. It's really cool. I want that in life. So I want to perform for him. And so he's a great accountability partner when I was doing this. I remember the feeling of when I would do a report that said, I did it. I felt good for me. And I felt good after reporting that I did it. On the other side of the spectrum, I remember when I didn't do it and I would write back, no updates today. Oh, that was a heartbreak. I felt like a slug about an inch tall. I didn't want that. And it started to drive me. I would not miss sending those emails. And by the time there'd be many days, I might be cleaning late or something. Maybe it just slipped my mind. It's 10:30 p.m. I'm just getting into bed. I'm exhausted. And I'm looking up at the ceiling, falling asleep. Oh my gosh, I did not do my email and update this today. Oh no, I didn't even do the email. So at 10:30 at night, get on my computer, do the work I'm supposed to do, send the invite, send the email accountability. Vincent, got it done today. Granted, I got it done 5 minutes ago, but I got it done. I go to bed. Now, the goal is to not do it late at night like that. But the point is it forced me into a behavioral change where I took action every single day. That's what you want with an accountability partner. If you're not feeling pulled and stretched and challenged, it's not the right accountability partner. Find someone that can do that for you. And again, at the end of this, I'll share about my Smart Cleaning Tribe that may be of interest to you. All right. Let's use a tool now. And I'm going to close up with a tool. And I want to just kind of get a little visual. I want you to imagine all of the stuff we're talking about. Let's talk about building a roadmap and talk about the key components of this roadmap. Let's say we're in the United States and you just see 50 states on a map. You don't know where you are. You don't know where you're going. You don't have any information yet. So the first thing that we need for anything to happen in your life and your business is we need the map itself, right? Sure. But the first thing we need is we need to know your numbers. So let's talk specifically about your cleaning business. We need to know what your numbers are. Do you know your sales conversion rates? How many leads it takes to get a new client? Do you know your how many applicants need to get a new qualified trained employee to grow with? Do you know how many of your systems are in place? Do you know your financials? Do you know your profit and losses and your balance statements for certain periods of time? Do you have all the information? That's step one. And I know that is a huge part of what Courtney is teaching. We're going to come back to that in a minute. Know your numbers. Put a dot on the map. And so in the retreat, in Courtney's retreat that she just did, it was in St. Louis, Missouri. So let's just say that puts it, you know your numbers, you know exactly where you are. Let's just pretend we're in St. Louis, Missouri. And I did this example on this call the other night. And I said, well, it's wintertime now, and I would love to go. Like I said, the first thing in your SMART goal was the R, right? What is the why? How do you connect the SMART goal to the intangible? The R, what's relevant? Well, to me, gosh, I would love to go to Phoenix this time of year. It's beautiful there. Now, I've heard since that there are some tornadoes and different things that come through. For the most part, it's gorgeous. That sounds like a wonderful destination. And it's not snowing like it is in the Northeast where I'm at. So the second part of your roadmap, you know where you are, determine where you want to go. And this is tied into the inspiration. And this is also the R of the SMART goal, right? This is the pilot light. This is the why. This is the fuel. Imagine on this map, you've got a car sitting in St. Louis. This car now has a destination. It knows where it's at. The car wants to get to Phoenix. All right. But now you have fuel in the car. Now you have a car that's fueled up. It knows where it's at. It knows where it has to get to. But how does it get from St. Louis to Phoenix? Does it know? This is where the rest of the SMART code comes in place. The SM and the SMA and the T, SMAT, comes into play. And this will determine which dotted line the car will take to get from St. Louis to Phoenix. A straight line is always the best, but if there's mountains, you may have to go around that. And your SMART goal has the same thing. This is a business strategy. We'll figure out how you get from point A to point B. So the SMART goal from month to month will make sure that you have a dotted line. And plus you have course correction. You might hit a dead end, construction. You may have to change. Something happens in your business that you didn't foresee. Adjust until you do set these goals that get you to Phoenix. So now we're back on this roadmap. We've got the car sitting in St. Louis where you start because you know your numbers. We know where you want the car to go. You got fuel in the car because you've got a big dream, done your 5 whys, and now you have the path of the best path to get to your destination. Great. Now you need the next piece. You need an accountability partner. That accountability partner, which I've already explained to you, they sit in the passenger seat of your vehicle and they're always in your ear. How are you doing? Did you get your goal done? Hey, watch out. Don't get distracted by shiny objects. I don't care the Grand Canyon's there. You want to get to Phoenix. Stay on the path. You said you're going to get at 10. You got 8. Get 10 tomorrow. In other words, you've dipped down to 55 miles an hour, and you could be going, and the speed limit's 70. Don't dip to 55. Let's get you your destination. You don't have to stop. It's like the example of the tortoise and the hare. What happens? The hare is faster, but it keeps stopping, and the tortoise just keeps moving along, and the tortoise gets there first. Isn't that crazy? So that's the second last component, which is the passenger. So now you got this roadmap. The car's on there. It's fueled up. It's got a passenger. You've got a driver. But what does the car roll on? If you said wheels, you're correct. So now I want to go into a tool that I want to share with you here that I believe will really enlighten you. And we're moving into the end of this. Okay, let's share what I call the wheel. All right, so you should see here the wheels and spokes. This is a diagram, and consider this one big tool, like a bullseye. I'll explain this. These are the 5 areas that Courtney has designated as the areas that she wants everyone to become very balanced and to win in. Human resources, these are like the 5 tenets of Rescue My Maid Service. Human resources, operations, marketing, administrative, and finances. These are the 5 areas. I'm adding a 6th area, goals and accountability. Let's put each of these 6 areas of your business on a spoke. Each one's a spoke as part of one of the wheels on your car. You getting this? And if you see, there's different levels. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 level. And how this works is this is a way that you can grade how your wheel is working. So let's say you come out of some training, or you go to one of Courtney's retreats, or you maybe subscribe to a coaching program and you're getting all this information and you become amazing at marketing, better at operations. You don't touch human resources. Maybe you grade yourself and you're like a 1 on goals. Let's see how this plays out. Let me show you an example. And in this example, you have a 2 in goals and accountability. So out of 5, you're giving yourself a grade of a 2. Human resources, you're doing pretty good. You're a 4 in human resources. You're also a 4 in marketing, but you're a 2 in operations, a 1 in administrative. Finances are also a 2. So when you look at this shape, if this shape right here with sitting on on both of your axles and 4 locations, how fast are you going to be getting from St. Louis to Phoenix? This is what I call an unbalanced and struggling business. You're doing great in human resources and marketing, right? You've got good employees and you found good employees and you're getting new clients. But over here, doesn't look like you're cleaning too good. You're probably going to lose those clients soon, and the employees are going to be gone soon. Administrative, that's a mess. You're running around with your hair on fire. And finances, oh boy, you're making no money. So struggling business, unbalanced and struggling business. Let me show you another example. What if you graded yourself with all 2s? You're a 2 in goals and accountability, a 2 in HR, operations, marketing, administrative, finances. You now have a different shape. This is a shape I would be glad to put on my car. It is a wheel. It's balanced. And I would call this a slow growing business. You're at all 2s, and maybe it's all 1s, but the wheel can spin. With a small wheel, you won't get to Phoenix very fast, but you will get there. And then the next level is you work on each of these areas in a balanced approach. You're hitting SMART goals in each of these areas. And I highly recommend you don't just set one SMART goal for HR only, but work over the period of time to expand all 6 of these areas to be 5s. Because look at the wheel here. Now if you have this wheel in your car, this is kind of like a Humvee with the big wheel, you'll get there faster. So this is what I call balanced and fast growing business. Now, my personal opinion, there's 5 areas here. You don't have to set a SMART goal in all 5 areas every single month. Although if you do and you can make them each attainable and relevant, you will get there the fastest. But it's okay if you set a SMART goal in 2 or 3, or even 1 or 2 for 1 month, and then the next month do the other 3 or 4, and then kind of alternate. But you want to try and get a way to keep balance, balance in your wheel. What you want to avoid is this, because if I drew another picture, let's say you had a 5 in, let's say you're doing 5 in HR, 5 in operations, 3 in marketing, 3 in administrative, you can end up with like an oval or like some odd shape that's going to go boom, 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 and you'll get there, but it's going to wreck your car and it's going to take you a long time. All right, let's get to the wrap up portion of this now. I believe we're at the 1 hour mark right now. So to put a ribbon or bow tie on this training, my hope is that you understand right now what your why is or is not. And you have a practical tool using the 5 whys that you can absolutely go and use right now with an accountability buddy to help you do this. Or if you need my help, reach out to me and I'll help you, or Courtney can help you. Find out what that why is. Once you have that, now you can start building your roadmap, figure out your numbers, set a SMART goal that makes sense to get you from where you are to where you're going. And I'll give you maybe 2 examples of ones we did at the retreat where I was the expert for a couple of days ago. And once you have that, you need an accountability partner, like I said, that you want to perform for, so that you will make progression month to month to month. And then lastly, keep score. Make this wheel. Make that in your own and just draw it out maybe once a month, or maybe show it with your accountability partner. Here's my wheel for this month. How's it look? Ooh, I can see that I'm growing out of balance. I need a goal over here so that I can have more balance, because unbalance is going to be struggle and slow growth. I want to be able to fix that. So that's what I hope you got from this. Let me give you some examples. So one of the examples, I have to see if I can find the paper. I must have thrown it out. One of them was a get out of the field example. And she was at 30% out of the field. Her goal is to be 100% out of the field. And she wants to accomplish that in one year. So in her why, being out of the field was what she needed to get to her big why. So we made that into a SMART goal. Well, you're 30% out of the field now. You want to be 100% in 1 year. So the deadline is 12 months. That's 30 to 170% over 12 months. I said, why don't we go for 10% per month? That gives you 5 months of buffer. Because if you do that 7 months in a row, 5 months, you can allow yourself to even screw up or not do it, or you can be less. So that makes it more attainable. You could be strong. You could go for more, and you could even do that in 6 months. But just the example we did, can you get yourself 10% out of the field each month? And that's your SMART goal. So for the month of December, her goal was to get to 40% out of the field by the end of December, by December 31st, 2019. And the same SMART goal for January, to get to 50% out of the field by January 31st, 60% out of the field by February 28th. Is this a leap year? I'm not sure. 2020. It is leap year. So February 29th. That's how that works. An example from within the Smart Clean Tribe, both Jen and Michelle, both of them want to get to $500,000 in revenue. They're about halfway. And we figured out how much revenue they needed. And we broke that down into how many customers they needed to add with attrition, knowing they would have to gain, I think the number was they had to gain like 90 customers. They have to gain 90 customers in 1 year, and allows for maybe 7 to 8 to fall off over the course of that year, which leaves them with roughly 80. I think 80 was the number. So they said, well, let's get to 90 to set their goal at. They broke that down to get 90 in a year. I mean, that's simple math. Let's just say that's like, what's that, like 6? What's 90 divided by 12? 6, 7. Bad math. I think it's 8. It's 8. So 8 per month. Now they had to add 8. So if they want to get from $250,000 to $500,000 in 1 year, they need to add 8 clients per month. That allows for attrition. To get 8 clients, we backed it out more. They need to get 50 leads to get 8 clients. And now Jen and Michelle are going for 50 leads a month, and they're accountability buddies with each other. And they're going for this together. And it's really cool. And that's an example of our Smart Clean Tribe as well. So those are 2 examples of SMART goals. So for that one, it was for Jen and Michelle, their SMART goal in the marketing area was to gain 50 leads by December 31st. To gain 50 leads by January 31st. Every month they want to get 50, because that'll give them 8 new ones, which will get hit their goal of $500,000 business in 1 year. You seeing how that works? Take the why, break it into its parts, look for a 1-year goal you want to achieve, break that 1-year goal into 1-month increments, and make sure the first month is attainable, that you can get there. If they need 90 for the course of the year, I said, do you feel you can get 50 leads in the first month? If they would have said, I can only get 20 leads, I would have said, let's go for 20 leads then. That'll get you 3 or 4 clients. That's fine. We'll make up for it in later months. Let's get you those small wins. And that's how you set a SMART goal. That's how you tie it to the why. That's how these ladies are going to have $500,000 and get towards their why. That's how this other lady is going to get out of the field in a year. And they also partner up with someone in accountability. That's how this whole system works. This is what you need to implement: a SMART goal framework, an accountability partner, and a big, big, big why. Go get it. Now, lastly, I'm going to close with the Smart Cleaning Tribe is a membership group that I started. It's currently $97 a month. It's invitation only. I don't promote it. I have an application process. And what we do in there is we bring in awesome, amazing cleaning minds and wonderful people with great hearts, with the heart of a giver, and people that are major action takers. And it's right now it's 20 people roughly, and we're growing that. And in this tribe, we share information, we compete, we set SMART goals every single month. We have SMART goal and accountability calls every single week. In those calls, we have open forum topics, we have masterminds, and we help each other game plan and strategize and figure out how they're going to get to achieve that goal. I also have a leaderboard with percentage of their goal completed for the month, and they compete against each other so they can see how far each of them has done on their own SMART goals. So I have layered accountability, multi-directional layered accountability, so that they are in there to win. And I have some great examples, like Ellen, to see Ellen go from someone that was disorganized with a wheel that was all jagged. Now she has an actual wheel shape and it's growing balanced. And she's implemented systems each month for the last 6, and she is winning. Like, she did a profit and loss for the first time in 20 years. She was able to incorporate systems. Now her training and hiring system is locked down. Her onboarding system. She has all these things in place now. Now she's automating, and Courtney's been helping her. She was at a retreat. Good, as a great example of how accountability has helped her. Smart goals and accountability has helped Ellen. I mentioned Jen. I mentioned Michelle already. They're both working on their own goal. But to have that dynamic in there with people that you love, that you generally want to perform for, they're your friends, they're your sisters, they're your brothers, they're family to you. That's what we've created in the Smart Cleaning Tribe. When you're part of a free Facebook group, you're getting free information from people that probably care about you, but not like if it's someone that you're, if you've got a friend that you haven't seen in a while, and you tell them your problem and they give you advice, do you cherish that advice? That's like general advice, more than your sister who knows you really well. And she gives you, here's what I think. I know you specifically. I think you need this. That's specific advice versus general advice. In Facebook groups, free groups, you get general advice. So whether you join a membership group like this or any kind of an accountability program out there, make sure you get specific advice from people that you know, like, and trust, and that really know you well, because that's what you want: specific counsel, not general counsel. And that's what you get in the free stuff, the free groups. So that's what we do in the Smart Cleaning Tribe. Oh, we also have an expert call. We have an expert call every single month where people need some great resource. I bring in an amazing person, and we've done this. We've had now 12 of them. So it's been a wonderful time. You can go apply for the Smart Cleaning Tribe, which is on my website at smartcleaningbiz.com/SCT_app. And you can apply, or you can just go to my homepage and click on Smart Cleaning Biz, Smart Cleaning Tribe, and there's an application. Apply. I'll receive that. I'll look it over. We can talk on the phone. We can find out if you're a good fit. And I mean that because I love the people that are in our tribe. I want to maintain the integrity of the group, make sure we bring in amazing people. So if you're approved for membership, and so that wraps us up. We're just over an hour and some change. I believe that, well, I hope that this was a very valuable training for you here today, and that you are going to go make a difference, and you're going to stop just collecting information, putting on your bookshelf. Stop being an information junkie. Go back to that wheel. Make a wheel for yourself and see what your wheel looks like. Do this today. Do it now. This training's over. Stop watching. Go do your wheel and do your 5 whys. Those are my 2 biggest now actions. Go do them. Figure out your 5 whys. What is your why, and what's your business look like on a wheel right now. It'll tell you so much on what you should be doing next. And with that, I thank you for taking the time and investing your hour and some change with me here today. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I look forward to speaking with you guys soon. Feel free to reach out to me through my website.